So welcome back to the whiteboard. We're going to be talking about how you can quantum leap from the past self to the present to the future. And this is a way to quantum leap through the mind, but also through practical terms as well. So we have our past self, our present self, and our future self. Now, for the past self to become the present self, we're going to have to change our thoughts, our behaviors, and our mindset in total. Okay. Now, our thoughts influence our behaviors, which influence our actions, and of course all of these things make up who we are. Okay, so the past self had some behaviors, some thoughts, some actions that we weren't liking, and so we decided to change them. And once we changed them and instilled new behaviors, new thoughts, and new actions, we become the new self, which is where we're at presently. You've become the new self. An example of this would be, I used to have eating disorders, and I changed my thoughts, I just changed my behaviors, I changed my actions, so that now I don't have an eating disorder. So present Laura can behave in a different way. The new self can behave in a different way to what the old self, because she's in fact a different person. She has different thoughts, she has different behaviors, she has different actions. And so she is different to the old self. The old self has, in effect, died. Now, what I see quite a lot with people at the moment, or what I'm seeing at the moment with a lot of my clients, is that there are a lot of fears and insecurities that at some point they are going to kind of go back into being the past self. Now, the only way that you could do this is for you to eradicate the new self's learnings and go back to the thoughts, the behaviors, and the actions. Now, that's a pretty hard thing to do, because ultimately, if you have changed the thoughts, the behaviors, and the actions, the new self has been created. And so this old self doesn't exist anywhere other than in your mind. And by holding on to the past version of yourself, actually, that is the thing that is creating the fear and the insecurity. Does that make sense? If you can forget the old self, the fears and the insecurities that you're going to go back to the old self actually goes away. So how can we use this premise to quantum leap into the new self? Well, here we go. Think about this future version of yourself. What are her habits? What are her thoughts? What are her beliefs and her actions? And one of the ways that we can start to close the gap between the present self and the future self is to start to do all of these things that the future you does. How do you become her? You do all the things that she does. What thoughts, behaviors, and actions does she have that leads you to becoming the future version of yourself? And the quicker that you can go from the new self into the even future, the newer, she's not even existent yet, but she does exist on a quantum basis. How can you close the gap between the present and the future self? Well, you start to behave like the future self behaves. And then before you know it, you quickly become her. And then what she can do in that moment is begin to cut off the image of the past self that is now the present self, so that you no longer partake in her behaviors or the fears and the insecurities of becoming her again, so that you can just step into the future that is now the present. And then you can do this all over again to become an even bigger, better version of yourself. If you like this lesson, my name's Laura. I'm here to teach you all the things I've learned the hardest ways, and I hope you enjoy it. If you're up for it, give me a comment. Let me know what you're trying to learn at the moment. If you've got any questions, pop them in there. Please follow along. I'm releasing some free workshops soon, and I'd love to see you there. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.